meeting. Okay, Wonky, Nate, did you want to say something before we start, Wonky?
I don't think so. Is Wonky there, right? I don't think she want to. That's my sister. I just invited her. She's coming in for the first time. Maybe she didn't know how to utilize it well.
Okay, let me lower her hand.
Yeah, please. Appreciate it.
Righty. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Night Live. It's February 4th, 2022. We want to welcome everybody here tonight and everybody that's on the stream. Welcome. We've got a lot of things happening tonight for you. Got a lot to do in a short time to get there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce my beautiful co-host, Miss Lynn Nakamoto.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome everyone to Friday Night Live. Tonight we have a special topic, cloud computing and how it relates to ONPASSIVE's products. We have some special guests today. We have engineer Mike Ojangtambia, who is going to do the slide presentation. And then we have Robert Takusi, also called Bob Takusi, as well as Oliver Fonte. They are IT specialists, and they will be on hand to make comments and answer your questions as well. Let me mute. All right. So at this time, we would like to have Engineer Mike take the floor. I'm going to mute everybody, and then he can begin.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome.
Can you unmute yourself?
Okay, Lynn. Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome again to another edition of the Friday Night Live with Ron and Lynn Nakamoto. Today, I always have the pleasure to be here with you. I have the honor to present whatever I know as knowledge. I want to thank all the Leadership Council members who are here present. Thank you for always working for us. I want to thank all the O-winners women and the O-winners men present right here, and the founder of our O-winners group, Mr. Bob Takusi. It is from him and other IT people that have been learning, and I'm very grateful to be able to come here today and present to you people. So today we'll be talking about cloud computing. Cloud computing is one of the things that ONPASSIVE is getting into. So we need to get a little bit of understanding how it works so that it is, let's see how beneficial it will be for our business. So I have, Maddie, can you give me the permission, please? Let me share my slides, please. Thank you.
Lynn, I gave you the host. You have everything.
All righty. Thank you. I didn't realize that. All right, your co-host now, Mike.
Thank you, Ms. Lynn. Auntie Lynn Nakamoto, thank you very much. So we will be talking cloud computing, like I say. The first thing that we need to do is for us to understand really how cloud computing works. If you people look at my diagram, I have a diagram right here. It has a layer, it has a circle, kind of a circle. Then it has application layers. You have, for the application layer, we have monitoring, content, collaboration, communication, and finance.
Hey,
For
Mike,
the infrastructure, yes,
let
sir.
me interrupt you real quick. Sorry. Can you go up and hit where it says slideshow? Hit slideshow so your presentation goes full.
Just go slowly. Okay. Awesome.
Right up at the top.
Yeah, I know where it is. So go layer, slideshow. I can use it as well as here down here. Don't worry. I can take it from down here.
That's
I
good
took
because
it
we
from
can't
down
see.
here. I
There you
took it
go.
already.
Excellent. Excellent.
Awesome. Thank you. So that to maximize it so that everybody can see.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Ron. So if you look at it, this diagram, like I'm telling you about, in the inner circle, you have application, you have platform, and you have infrastructure. On the infrastructure side, you have the compute, the block storage, you have the network. Then you have on the platform, you have like object storage, identity, runtime, queue, and database. Then on the application side, you have monitoring, content, collaboration, communication, and finance. Then what are all of these services or platform and infrastructure connected to? They're connected to your servers, they're connected to your laptops, connected to your phones, tablets, and laptops. So which means you can access the cloud environment from wherever you are. So the cloud uses a excuse me, a network layer to connect different devices to provide access to resources residing in the centralized data center of the cloud. Okay, now the cloud technology users can use the data center through the company network or internet facilities. Another thing again, this technology provides various advantages. Users can access the cloud from anywhere at any time, but the network bandwidth should have to be more. Now, this technology not only facilitates desktop and laptop users, but mobile users can also access their business systems based on their demand. So what are we trying to say? ONPASSIVE, we have this system that has been built. And remember, every day our CEO, Mr. Aj Mufara, he comes out, he tells us something. And what has he been telling us? That anybody in any part of this world can do business with ONPASSIVE. Why? Just using your cell phone, mobile device, wherever you are, only thing you need is internet. And you type in www.onpassive.com, you go straight to our website and you can register and become a founder and you do business with ONPASSIVE. That is why this is very important for us. So we don't need an oil well to drill before we start, doing what to drill the oil well, then start connecting to fuel stations. No, anywhere that you are in this world, you can conduct business with ONPASSIVE because the only thing we need is just internet. Now, why is cloud computing important? We need to know about it. Why? So, cloud computing is perhaps the most flamboyant technological innovation of the 21st century. So, this is tying straight up to what we got in ONPASSIVE. We got 21st century cutting edge technology tools for any business in the world, being it online or offline or online, you will need all our products. They are 21st century products. Okay, this is because it has seen the fastest adoption into the mainstream than any other technology in the domain. It is huge. Most companies, they see the benefit of having a cloud environment because cloud computing is the thing for the next generation from now heading forward. Okay, now this adoption has been fueled mainly by the ever increasing number of smartphones and mobile devices that can access the internet. How many users do we have today that are using the internet? We have about 4.8 billion, 4.8 billion estimated to be using the internet. And how do they use the internet? They don't just use only computers and laptops and desktop and things like that. They use smartphones. So which means that our business in such a way that anywhere that you are in the world and you have just internet connection, you can do business with ONPASSIVE. Okay, so That is the importance of the cloud environment and what ONPASSIVE is bringing to the world and to its founders. Okay. Now, cloud computing is not just for organizations and businesses. It is also useful for an average person as well. Is that something that we should be excited about? Yes. Why? Because every one of us, every founder in ONPASSIVE has at least a cell phone, at least an Android phone, at least an iPhone that wherever they are, they can connect to the internet and they can conduct business. That is what we should be, something that is important to us, founders of ONPASSIVE. Now, it enables us to run software programs without installing them on our computers. It enables us to store and access our multimedia content via the internet. It enables us to develop and test programs without necessarily having servers and so on. Is this so also exciting? Yes, it is exciting because you don't need to download apps on your phone or your laptops or on. You just need to be able to be hooked up to the internet, connection to the internet, and you type in www.onpassive.com, boom, and you start business with ONPASSIVE. Isn't that not amazing? Isn't that very amazing to us? It should be and exciting. So cloud computing is a 21st century marvel that holds its importance in almost every field you can think of. Cloud computing, people are getting into it because it generates a lot of revenue to companies. Companies are getting more interested in cloud computing, and also the business people are trying to innovate things so that their businesses can go faster. So they're using cloud computing. So why cloud computing is the future? Why is cloud computing the future? Let's see. Considering the numerous benefits that cloud computing offers to organizers or organizations, a fair case can be made that cloud computing is increasingly becoming the new normal because of what they are benefiting. Everybody wants to get a cloud environment. It is very beneficial. We'll see it as we go. Okay. Now, cloud computing is helping the society to cope with future problems such as managing big data, cybersecurity, and quality control. Is that something that we have to be excited about? Yes. Why? Because ONPASSIVE will be having its own cloud environment. We have our own cloud services. So that's why we're trying to understand this concept so that when our own cloud computing services come, we'll be able to explain it to people as well. That's why we're breaking it down so that we go along with what changes we bring into the world to ONPASSIVE founders and to the world. Now, in addition to emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, distributed ledger technology, and many other capabilities are becoming available as services through cloud computing. So is artificial intelligence tying to cloud computing something that we should be excited about? Yes, because all our products in ONPASSIVE are tied to AI. AI is embedded in all our products. So it is something that we should be excited about and to know a little bit more as we go around. Now, we have models. We have models in cloud computing. We have three models. Basically, we have three models, okay? The first one is IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Then we have PaaS, which is platform as a service. Then we have SaaS, which is software as a service. So let's see what all of this is all about. What does it mean? If I come and tell you what is IaaS, this is it, what it means. Now, it is a computing infrastructure managed over the internet. That's it. IaaS. It is a computing infrastructure managed over the internet. That's it. Now, our examples are AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, and Microsoft Azure or Microsoft Azure It depends on how you pronounce it, but it is spelled A-Z-U-R-E. So now we have the other platform, which is called platform as a service. What is it? So platform as a service is a platform created for programmers to develop, test, run, and manage the applications. Programmers, developers, that is their own environment. Okay, example is AWS Elastic Beanstalk and Google App Engine. Okay, now we have another, the last one module is called software as a service. Now, what is this software as a service? It is also called the on-demand software. Okay, so it is a software in which the applications are hosted by cloud services, cloud service providers. Now, users can access these applications with the help of internet connection and web browsers, such as Salesforce, Dropbox, Cisco WebEx, and GoToMeeting. Now, what I want to explain to you people now is this about Dropbox. If you people use Google, Google has a storage capacity which you can store your stuff on the Dropbox. So you can store it on Dropbox and you can share it to other people. But guess what? After some time, they can tell you, oh, your service is full, your storage is full, and something you can buy more service and things like that. But I think our own services that we'll be bringing in ONPASSIVE will be unlimited. We don't have no limited storage. No, it will be unlimited, everybody. That's why we should be getting excited, because we are getting into the market with a lot of competition, and we got a lot of features that is not yet in the market. Now, advantages of cloud computing versus the data center. I want to say thank you to Ms. Lynn Nakamoto, Dr. Benny, and Sister Bridget Kamsi. They were the ladies who decided to bring us this diagram. They worked on it and brought it to us, which is very amazing. On the left-hand side, this one is telling you about the cloud computing. And the other side is talking about the data center. If you people remember last week, when we were talking about data center, it looked like something like this. Now we are talking about scalability, the advantages of having a cloud computer versus data center. So when we talk about scalability, just take it in a way that when the servers, when it is up like maximum, how do we say it again? When the system is at its peak, maximum. So some people like during the middays, they can put more servers so that it can be able to serve their population. That's scalability. But now, when towards the evening, there will be less people going to the internet. People will be retiring to sleep and rest and things like that. So they will decide now to cut the number of servers. Let's say, for instance, midday we have 150 servers serving that website. Now, during the evening that we have less population, there is less traffic on the internet. We'll be having like 50 servers. We'll reduce it to 50, depending on the population that we have. Flexibility is the same thing as why? It's very, very flexible. You can change things anyhow as per your service demand. So the cost is almost really one cost, okay? It's like pay as you go. You can pay for a whole of the whole of the cloud environment. No, you pay just for instance, if you have 1 petabyte of data that you want to store, you can decide to pay for 1.5 petabyte or 2 petabytes of data in the cloud environment. Pay as you go. Now, availability. Now, because these services, cloud services are 24/7, at any time when you log in there, you will go there and you work. You can do your job working remotely from wherever you are, get into there and you continue. Okay, so availability, security. There is a lot of security in this cloud environment because, first of all, remember that it depends, every IT business, most of it depends on data. And you want to always secure your data so that the man in the middle does not come to get your information. Because when they get your information, it's a big problem. If we guys remember about some months ago, like 6 or 7 months, Capital One had a problem that his data was being collected, and they started hacking people's, getting credit cards and hacking into people's personal lives. They had to be paying a lot of people. Okay, so now accessibility, it is accessible from anywhere. Cloud computing, if you have servers in the cloud environment, most of us in the IT world now, most people work from home. So they can access their servers. Might be their servers can be in Australia, but they sit here. I can be sitting in my home here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and I'm working in Australia. So I am that cloud, my cloud server is accessible to me if I have the login. So when I log in, I can work remotely. So when we're talking about collaboration between teams, teams are, well, there's a lot of collaboration between the DevOps team, the developers, the database administrators, the Linux system admins. They can be working in one simple file because the file is saved on the cloud environment. All of them can be working at the same time. They will not wait for one person, developers, to finish before. No, they will work collaboratively on that same file, provided they have the same rights, permissions to work on the file. And the permissions will be read, write, execute. Some people will have just read permissions. Some people will have just write. And some people will have all read, write, execute to work on those files. That's what we're trying to talk about here, everybody. Now, cloud computing deployment models. We have 5 of them. We have the public cloud, we have the private cloud, hybrid cloud, community cloud, and multi-cloud. Let's talk about the private cloud. The private cloud, let's talk about the public first. The public cloud is that cloud that is exposed to everybody, that everybody can come and use it, pay your sum of money, get whatever they give to you, your own small storage, and you use it. That's the public one. Now, the private one is, if ONPASSIVE decides today, we don't want to go public, we have our own private cloud. We will have our stuff. It harbors only our data. We don't want no other people. That's the private one. Now, hybrid cloud is the one that has a mixture of public and private, both of them. Now, the community cloud is the one that many companies will come together to get a cloud. Okay, that's the community one. Then the multi-cloud would be a cloud, a series of private clouds together in one bunch. Okay, that is what it is. Now, look at this. We have the 15 largest cloud computing companies in the world. Amazon, which is AWS, is the first. Microsoft is the second. We have HP, Hewlett-Packard's company. We have Salesforce. We have Cisco in the 5th position. Number 6 is VMware. Number 7 is IBM. Number 8 is Google. Number 9 is Adobe. And number 10 is SAP. 11 is Oracle. 12 is Alibaba Group. 13 is Workday. 14 is ServiceNow. And the last one, which is the 15, is Dropbox. All these companies are in high competition. It is how much your prices are. Is ONPASSIVE getting a better price, better deal for its people? Yes, we'll always get the best. Mr. Ajmufara doing it with his heart, with always heart for humanity, we always do it the best, and we'll get much more clients as we'll see. Now, advantages of AI-enabled cloud computing. What are the advantages? Automation. This AI automation accelerates data analysis. So remember, if automation means that you have the system to do everything, you don't want to reduce human errors. Okay, human errors are most of the things that hinder your productivity in your environment. Now, we want to talk about the cost effectiveness. So businesses purchase only the storage they require when they require it. That is what I'm talking about, pay as you go. If you need that, you need a storage of 1 petabyte, you can buy 1.5 petabyte, or you can buy 2 petabytes for your storage, which is pay as you go. Efficiency, faster development of solutions and less error rates. This is coming to tell you about the automation. It is very efficient because most of the systems are automated. Okay, everything is going by itself. Now, seamless data access supports huge volumes of data with no delays because it is very fast. Okay, the cloud system is what we are seeing because most of them use like connectivity, fiber optic and things like that which is the 21st century stuff, right? Making it to go so fast. Now, let's see something. The total worldwide spending on cloud services. What are they? So now it is being estimated by experts that by 2025, right, it will be more than 1.3 trillion. Okay, $1.3 trillion. Is that something we should be happy about? Yes, because ONPASSIVE will be part of it. We are bringing our own cloud system to this market. We will market our own cloud services. Okay, now the compounding annual growth rate will be at 16.9%. Do you know what that means? Compounding power, it increases, right? If you have 16.9% this year, next year will not be the same 16.9 because it's compounding. But that value, 16.9, is just there. That is the same thing that we are looking at it. I'm like, okay, if the ONPASSIVE system is this way, if we can be getting something like this, it means we have a tight market that we are bringing the new technologies. We are bringing the innovation of technology, which is AI, to this market. We have a place right here. That increase, we will have a percentage of that increase. Okay, everybody. Now, ONPASSIVE's AI embedded cloud computing services. So cloud computing is indeed one of the fastest growing avenues in the IT industry. With ONPASSIVE bringing in AI embedded cloud services, it will be a game changer in the information technology industry. Thank you again, Mr. Ash Mufare, for all you do for us, the founders, and the entire world. Now, I just want to give some two things now here. Now, if I have my two big brothers here, Mr. Bob Takusi and Mr. Oliver Fronte, all from the O Winners team. When they used to give us presentation, they predict what is coming. And we in the information technology world, we can also do some kind of predictions due to what our CEO comes and tells us all the time. Now, let's go with this. Mr. Bob Takusi used to tell us, oh, I'm saying that Sona will be a woman. And it turned up to be that old chart will be Sona and Sona will be a woman. He told us that as we see, he predicted that as we see, the old chart will be the voice of a woman. And it was Sona. Then our other big brother who will listen to what Mr. Ash tells us and all that, he told us that because our system will be so fast and everything, we'll be using fiber optic. And it came out to be, Mr. Ash pointed it out to us one day. So if I go now, look at our system and I see the security that we have as a Linux system admin, because we have so much tweaks, you will see Mr. Ash will bring up an idea, the tech team will go, they will tweak it and bring it in another way. I can highly tell you that now, like our system is being used, they use by Linux because every Linux is an open source. So getting an API, which is application programming interface, is easy for us to integrate all those components. I can highly say that. I can say today that, oh, from my own predictions for our system, we should be using the Linux system. Now, This is all I had for you today, everybody. So what I want to say now is a little message for our people who are with us today. Now, if you are listening anywhere that you are, and you're listening to this presentation, you need to go to whoever brought you here and say, okay, please, I want to join this movement, which is a super movement. I want to say this in French, and I will say something as well in Spanish for the people who are viewing us today, and they are with us. Donc, pour le francophone, ONPASSIVE est la mère de tous les business dans ce monde. Si vous nous écoutez maintenant, venez nous rejoindre. Le train est sur le point de décaler. Merci. ONPASSIVE es la madre de todos los negocios. Si no estás escuchando ahora, ven a entrar. El tren es a punto de ir. Mr. Our big brother, Marty DeGamo, please, what do you think? I want to ask you like Mr. Ash today, what do you think? Thank you, everybody.
Marty, are you there? Hello, Marty. Are you there? Oh, well, Mike, we'll ask him when he comes back. He's probably doing something. Go ahead, Lynn.
All right. Thank you very much, Engineer Mike. I thought that was
by the way, it was awesome. Awesome.
Yes, it was concise yet comprehensive, just to give us a taste of what cloud computing is about. So did you folks enjoy his presentation? Let's give him a round of applause. I think he did a great job. Awesome job. At this time, we're going to wait for Marty to come back. I know Engineer Mike would like to hear Marty say a few words, but he'll be back soon, I'm sure. In the meantime, I think Bob Takusi would like to give a wrap up or a summary of that presentation and then tie it in with some of the products. And we will hear from you, Jay Wu, in a little bit. Okay, Jay Wu, is that all right?
Oh,
Go ahead.
Marty's here.
Oh, Marty, are you back?
I'm back.
All right. Did you hear what Engineer Mike said?
Yeah, it was amazing. Barry, you kept it, you dumbed it down for us average folk, okay? No, you did a very good job, Mike, all kidding aside. Anybody could watch this and understand what he said. You know, I thought I knew about cloud. Well, I'm not going to admit I didn't know because that'd be stupid, but I didn't know. I didn't know all the stuff that he said and how exactly. I had an idea how it worked because we use it, but I didn't really know the details. It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. So I'm very, another home run, Michael, another home run. Fantastic. No kidding. I was very impressed. And you kept it where anybody here could understand it. And that's the main thing. Because you IT guys get talking and you wind up going to Pluto and we're stuck on Earth trying to figure out what you just said, you know. No, very good. Very, very good.
Thank you, Marty. Now we would like to go to Bob Takusi and Oliver Fonte to speak. You can take the floor, Bob.
Yeah, I think, hello, everybody. Hello, all founders, all ONPASSIVians. Hello, Marty, Ron, Lynn, Engineer Mike, all the all winners. It's a pleasure being here. It's a privilege, actually, being here. I really appreciate. Thank you, Auntie Lynn. We call you Auntie Lynn because you're like a mother to all of us. So it's a pleasure. It's actually a privilege for me to be here to speak to all of us. Engineer Mike, good job. You laid it out properly, but I'll just summarize, just bring it home. Let me just bring it home a little bit, you know, simplify it a little bit. You know, when we've had several discussions, especially my friend Oliver Fonte is a friend and a brother of mine. We've been friends since childhood. We went to separate boys' schools. I was in one school, he was in another. We always got together from different cities, the same cities, our parents, our friends, and stuff like that. So we've known each other for a while. We happen to be in the same industry. So we bounce ideas to each other, like we speak almost 5 times every day since we became ONPASSIVians. So what I want to say first is about 6 months, or maybe sometime about 6 months ago or more, when Mr. Ash Mufare, God bless him, when he said that, I'm sorry, when Mr. Ash said that we have a data center in Washington, DC, I don't know if you guys remember, Oliver and I, we spoke, and I said, aha, that's it. That is it. Mr. Ash got it covered, guys. I'll disconnect this. Mr. Ash got it covered. Because all throughout, I've been in the industry for 24 years. All throughout, I had been thinking, I said, with the magnitude, what ONPASSIVE is, it would be a malpractice for us to host our systems, our data with somebody else, with AWS. So when Mr. Ash came and he said that we have a data center, something of that nature, you know, if you know Ash Mufare and you listen to him keenly, he says something, when he said that, you will know that that had been in the works for about maybe a year or 6 months. So I told Oliver, I said, look, we're going to host this thing in our own cloud environment, in our own data center. So that was a home run for me. That at that moment, I knew that ONPASSIVE is the goldest of all gold mine. So when we talk about data center and cloud service, yes, that is the house. That is our house where we're going to house our own data first. Let's bring this home. Think of it this way. Mr. Ash Mufare is building one of the biggest and the most expensive, luxurious high-rises in downtown any city, maybe 50, 100-story building. At the top of that building is the penthouse where he lives, us. That's where we live. ONPASSIVE, right? So that is where he's going to be housing our data in our own house. But in that building, there are multiple units, apartments for rent, multi-tenant environment. So people come and rent it. That is what this is. But Mr. Ash is using the current modern technology, which is virtual machines. So let's move that. I'm just trying to bring this home, but in the real sense, it's in the cloud. So when it's in the cloud, that means the cloud. Look, think about the cloud. Can you tell me how much the cloud is, how big the cloud is? No, the cloud is unlimited. That's the cloud. So we are in the cloud. We are configuring our virtual machines, virtual systems, right? So these systems have multiple operating systems, multiple platforms, multiple databases per server. And it is unlimited. The capacity is unlimited. That is what Mr. Ash brings. That's where we are. But inside that space, we are also keeping our own stuff. When Mr. Ash Mufare, God bless that man, when he made that statement, it's about maybe 6 months ago. I knew that was it. He knows exactly what he's doing. Let's look at the security inside the cloud environment. You know, when you are in the cloud is up there. It's up there somewhere. So you have remote access. So you have to go into the cloud. So there must be security for you getting into the cloud. Two-factor authentication. We already have it. That's the first layer of security. How do you get access to that system in the cloud? Right now, all of us already, Mr. Ash is already preparing us, all of us, if to go to get access to your O-Founder, you receive that code. Remember the one OTP? That is two-factor authentications. So if somebody steals your password, your email address and your password, they have to know your email address and have that information to get that code to put in it. So that's the first layer of security that is being implemented. It's a multi-tenant environment, most likely. So that means multiple users. That's how AWS makes money. People come, other companies, corporations, they come, they rent the spaces, we configure it, and then they pay. So multi-tenant environment. So how is the transmission and the security configuration of these systems? Mr. Ash got it. He got it down packed. Last weekend, Oliver Fonte told us about how the data goes across. It is encrypted as it goes into the cloud. It is encrypted. I believe it's not only encrypted in transit, but I believe it is also hashed. By hashing, we mean the data is locked. You cannot, the integrity of the data is kept intact when you do file hashing. So you encrypt it and then you hash it. So even if somebody hacks it, they cannot alter the integrity of that data as it goes across the communication channel to the database where it is also encrypted. He got it down packed. There's also logging is another critical element of, our security. And I believe that if we ask Ash Mufare about our own personal internal security controls, I'm a security analyst right now. If we ask Ash about our internal security controls, are we building our own or do we rely on third parties? Mr. Ash will tell us we are building our own. We do not rely on third parties. If we can build our own data center and our own AI cloud service, then I believe, knowing him as I know from a distance, seeing the moves that he makes, I believe even our own internal security controls, by internal security controls, I mean our logging, monitoring, our firewalls, our antivirus, our data loss prevention protocols, and things like that. Because we cannot use third-party products. When we use them, they're going to have access to our system. If it's getting our data center and our cloud service environment, because we want to have a grip of our stuff, So this is a very, very, very big deal, what Mr. Ash is doing for all of us. I just wanted to summarize it in this way so we see it in a much more simpler way. What this data center is and cloud service is a big, big deal for us. We are bringing in our own data. We have our own information in our house. They will open the doors for other people to come and rent spaces because we have the appropriate security of this data. When we open our doors to the world is going to be very, very, very pleasant. So I'm going to end here for now, Auntie Lynn and Mr. Ron. And then maybe if Oliver comes in, then we can talk about some products and connect it to the cloud as we see it. Remember, I'm inside the industry, so I'm going to bring these products out as we see it today in the industry versus what ONPASSIVE is bringing. There's no match right now in the industry. So I'll talk about maybe a few of our products very briefly, just to show you guys how big ONPASSIVE is from inside the industry. So I'll send it back to you, Auntie Lynn and Mr. Ron.
All righty. Thank you so much. That is just mind-boggling. The immensity of what we're doing and the quality, how special it is being AI embedded. I think that's a big deal as well. So at this time, I want to see if there's anyone here that has any questions or comments relative to what's been said to this point.
Let me say something real quick, Lynn. It just proves that Miss Ash has told us for months, think bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't think we haven't stopped. I don't think the man will ever stop. Just when you get to a point, just tell yourself, I need to think bigger.
Yeah.
Okay. Because trust me, it's coming. It's coming. Go ahead, Lynn. Sorry I interrupted you.
Not at all. Good point, right? Great. We have some hands raised. So at this time, we'd like to recognize Dr. Benny Blessing. You can unmute yourself.
All right. Excellent presentation, Engineer Mike. And outstanding breaking down the presentation by Uncle Bob. I want to take this special moment actually to welcome each and everyone and to thank Mr. Ash Mufare bringing us this opportunity. Now, Engineer Michael, you said something about cloud, the companies. So based upon these cloud companies, I know that there are 15 of them, or there are more companies all over the globe. But the cloud companies, sometimes they are referred to as cloud service providers, right? Because these are the companies that they offer services and applications on cloud. So the cloud company essentially, they hold tools in a data center, which you have already said it, right? And which it allows customers now to retrieve and utilize the information, which they are going to be flexible and manageable, as well as cost-effective manner. Now, through all these cloud companies, the customers, they will easily access their cloud-based data via the network connection. Now, you also said something about the models, right? Now, based upon my own research about these cloud models, about their value, when it comes to SaaS, the SaaS value in 2018, the value was 134.44 billion. But the expected growth in 2022 will be 220.21 billion. So SaaS is much more expensive than PaaS and IaaS. Now, I'm just going to give you the expected value for IaaS. So in 2020, we had like 64.28 billion, but the expected growth right now in 2022 for infrastructure as a service is going to be 121 billion, 121.62 billion. Now, when it comes to PaaS, But according to a positive tech, Cosentix, he stated that indeed, past, the market size is expected to grow, and the estimated value in 2020, it was 56.2 billion. But in 2026, the expected growth will be 164.3 billion. Now, one more thing, you talk about security, right? We do understand that the reason why we're moving on cloud or data center, the reason is because we want to really, really protect our information. Now, when I talk about information, it comes to like your first name, your last name, right? Your social security, in which we don't have to provide our social security, right? Which we also know that a social security is a unique identifier. But when it comes to ONPASSIVE, our email address is the unique identifier. It still has to be secured. Now, you also said something about application. Based upon the application that you were talking about, we do have application security. Now, within the application security, it is a process of developing and testing the security features, right, within the application, which it prevents the vulnerability. Now, when I talk about vulnerability, it's like the weakness that some of our systems are having. So, and there are certain types of application which at first I really did not know. You talk about the authentication, authorization, and you have encryption, you have logging. So at this time, I will not really spend too much time explaining it, but I want to let you guys know that all your information will be protected because why? We do have antivirus software that it will be installed. Firewalls also will be installed. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. And for those of you who might not know, she is a cybersecurity analyst. And she has a doctorate degree, so she really knows what she's talking about. Go ahead, Bob.
And has a very beautiful smile.
Yeah. Yes. So let me just add. So she talked about the last thing about encryption. Encryption is a very critical security protocol. Encryption. So think of encryption this way. Oh, okay. Think of encryption this way. You have the information, right? You take this information and you scramble it. You make it unreadable as it is going through the communication channel or as it's being stored. So only the person who is supposed to receive that information or who has the credential to receive that information has a unique logical key to open that information and read it and see it. So ONPASSIVE is encrypted. It's encrypted. So I wanted to drive that home because she brought it in. It is not only encrypted, it is, I believe, this I don't know, but I believe it is hashed. By hashing, you lock the file. As it is going across that communication channel, you lock it to protect the integrity of the file. Ash Mufere and our team, the guys who are working on our products in Hyderabad, they are first-class technicians. And they are implementing the most modern techniques and technologies that we need. Encryption. Because if you look at Zoom, even Zoom right now, Zoom had a problem with the FTC. If you go back and you Google Zoom and FTC sometime about 8-9 months ago, they were fine. They had to settle a case with the Federal Trade Commission because they were claiming that their system is encrypted. But it is not because they have been hacked. When you encrypt a system, it is unhackable. You cannot hack it because you cannot read this, you cannot decrypt the information because it is like you scramble it. You scramble it and then you send it along. So only the person that is receiving it has the logical key to open it and see. So I just wanted to highlight that point when she talked about encryption again. we are fine. ONPASSIVE is I would say in a, as a security analyst, I dare to say this, but it's inside an iron dome.
That's pretty amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me feel very much at peace. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got Bridget Kamsi. Go ahead and share.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Thank you, Uncle Bob, for the information, and thank you, Dr. Benny, and awesome presentation, Mike. I just wanted to add one little thing. Mike talked about cloud computing providing collaboration among employees within an organization for multiple users from different departments to access all required information. But I would like to add that with the cloud technology, businesses can actually overcome geographic restrictions. And then this will set up a multiple infrastructure that can be accessed from anywhere. So you see, this will drive collaboration efficiency among overseas teams and contribute to the business growth. And from what you can all see, ONPASSIVE is all over the globe. So this will be applicable to ONPASSIVE. So that's what I wanted to add. And I also wanted to mention that during this COVID period, the advantages of cloud has been clear because businesses that were on the clouds prior to the COVID were able to adapt to the new remote working norms much quicker than more efficiently compared to the non-cloud competitors of the same industry. So those are the things I just wanted to add.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. Next, we have Denbo McCary, who wants to speak. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Thanks to the wonderful presentation again from our founder, engineer Otanjombe, and the further collaboration from Bob Takusi. My perspective tonight with respect to the presentation is this is in line with Harsh philosophy of bringing helping humanity. And with that, cloud computing, which is going to be everywhere in the world. When they say cloud, it's not physically looking at the cloud. Now, as a network administrator or as an ICT consultant as well, we know that that means you'll be able to have access anywhere you are in the world. In fact, if you remember last time, one of our founders here talked about a device that being manufactured by, I think, Starlink that can be deployed particularly in those remote areas in the developing world. And my interest is to be able to bridge that digital divide between the developed and the developing world and in this, the remotest part of the earth. And with this product that we are seeing to do with ONPASSIVE, what ONPASSIVE is doing with cloud computing and the device that is already in the market, the Starlink, I think that's what it is. They have some devices that will be able to provide internet service. And with internet service, you'll be able to have access to your data wherever that you're in the world. And also, we know in this country here, the President Biden is talking about broadband. Broadband will further enhance data transport and exchange of data from one service provider to the other service provider. So when you look at all these things put together, you know that ONPASSIVE is marching forward, and I'm very, very glad to be part of this team. Thank you all very much. This is my submission tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Denbo. We have William Delorme next. William Delorme.
Yes, hello, and this is quite an environment. I had a job at JDS with fiber optics. I built 1x2, 2x2 switches, and they mentioned to us they were going into satellites. I've seen a lot of fiber optics, that's for sure. So what I want to know is, my question is to Bob and engineer Mike, how fiber optics will adapt into the cloud environment? Can you answer that? Because I know we have good quality with fiber optics instead of electricity. Electricity travels like a lightning.
The speed, yes. So you recognize that. I think Mr. Ash had already told us that our data center cables they are connected with fiber optics. So you see that the speed, artificial intelligence will only enhance that speed for us and the quality of the images that you will see, with fiber optics. The one thing that I will bring to light as you've asked this question in terms of transmission, look at O Connect, for example. When you watch television right now, let's say you watch CNN or MSNBC or Fox News, when they have their correspondence come in, this is a question that I would like to ask Mr. Ash to see what his take is though, but I think it's because of the fiber optics that ONPASSIVE will bring, that will help us. Each time that there's a broadcast and you watch it, each time that I watch, just take for instance, they will either disconnect or the images freeze or they get cut off and stuff like that. But with ONPASSIVE, O Connect, and fiber optics implemented with artificial intelligence, you see that number one, those images are going to be better, crispy, clean, and then the transmission, there will never be any disconnection because of the speed and the reliability of fiber optic plus artificial intelligence. That works, that is constantly, it's like you have a security guard that is constantly on that line, making sure that that connection from one end to another is intact. When there's a problem, AI is going to, kick in to adjust accordingly. So it's only going to enhance us better. You are frozen there, or am I the one who is frozen? Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
No, we can hear you, Uncle Bob.
Yes, we can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Can I just add something there, William?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Uncle Bob? Okay, so let's take two things, okay? Take your local cable, Time Warner cable. You're using Time Warner cable, for instance. And that Time Warner cable was the Time Warner cable, they install it for you, let's say in the early 2000s, okay? Now we are in the 21st century. Most cable companies are stepping up their games. Why are they stepping up their games? They want to use fiber optic because of what Uncle Bob is telling you, the clear, crystal clear images, the fastness of the transmission, the speed. Now, if you had Time Warner cable, which was given to you or installed to you, like William, you're in Canada, right? Not in time.
Yes, I am.
Okay, let's take our own right here, TELUS. You use TELUS. So your own TELUS connection was done to you in, let's say, in the year 2000. Now, we have a 21st century technology, which is coming with an AI kind of stuff. I want to use my own connection now, is the TELUS of 2021. Right now, as we speak, you and I, the connection that I have is a TELUS connection, but is fiber optics. Now, your price will not be the same like my own price, but what is there is the comfort that you get from it, right? Your cable is fast. Then you don't get before the only ones that you used to have here. It's sometimes when you are streamlining something, it starts breaking up. Like you don't get the streamline clear because they don't use fiber optic. But now fiber optic coming in with what Uncle Bob is saying, with a huge amount of data that we'll be having, crystal clear, the speed, fastness of the system brings that 21st century technological advancement to us, and that will be a big game changer in the industry.
I'd like to add on that with the fiber optics, that they use it, they bury in the gun, it's well protected, well, instead of wires up above.
It comes, it comes all the way to your house, yes.
Yes.
Or that company that they put it at a junction and then they use wax cable to
So
bring
it's
it
much more safer.
right to your house, yeah, right.
And much more clear, and it goes in waves, not erratic, like electricity. So, but it's very expensive.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I said price-wise.
Very expensive, yeah.
But you get the comfort of it when you pay for it. That's the truth. Thank you, Uncle Bob. Thank you, William.
Thank you. Thank you, William.
Thank you, William, for your question. All right, next we have Jay Wu, Wanda Woodward. Go ahead and unmute yourself and speak.
Thank you. Great presentation, Engineer Mike, Bob. I had my hand went up early because I had a question about the cloud. So I've been trying to wrap my mind around the cloud, and it's direct link to the physical data center and data centers talking to other data centers. So the comment that was just made is like, so my first question is, are data centers connected in the sense that they're hardwired, or are they connected virtually? That's the first question. And I'll get an answer, and then I'll ask about the cloud, and at what point does someone who is cloud computing, at what point is there a need to the activities you're doing in the cloud that they would actually go on the physical server?
Okay, let me take the first one, then Uncle Bob will chime in. So when we talk about connectivity, okay, in the data center, whether they are physically connected or on the cloud. Now, if we see what we need, right, is to determine if servers which are in the cloud environment, you can access them. Now, how do you access them? They have something that they call the IP addresses or Internet Protocol addresses. When those servers are being created, they have something that they call the public and the private IP addresses.
Okay. I got you. I remember that from the other day.
Perfect. So you use that public IP address to connect remotely to that server. That server can be in Australia, and I'm sitting right in my basement now. I use that public IP address. I will connect directly to that server if I have permission to work on that server.
Okay.
So Uncle Bob hires me. He's my boss. I'm working under Uncle Bob. He needs, I'm a technician or an administrator, server administrator. He will give me the permissions for me to be able to log into those servers. So that all they need is those servers have to be somewhere and they have network connectivity. Anywhere you are in the world, you will get into those servers and work there, provided you have the permission to log into the servers. And all you need is your Internet Protocol address, which is the public one. So you log into the server, boom, and you start working.
So most of us today on the internet are using the public side.
Yes, most of us.
All right, all right.
Most
So
of us.
now I have some cloud service on my phone.
Yes.
And I never go there unless I'm looking for something that I saved. At that point, am I going to, is it private or still on a physical server in a private capacity or a public capacity?
For that one, it is private for you.
Okay, private for
but
me.
because you are not the owner of the server, it is public. Because you're getting it from the Google service, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you don't own it. Google owns it. So on your device, it is private for you. Mm-hmm. But on the Google side, it is public.
Okay.
Because Google owns it, not you.
All right.
Correct.
So and then lastly, just for clarity, when Mr. Ash said that he has a couple of data centers or places where there's servers that he hasn't even connected yet. When he says that word connected in that sense means what? They're just not made to talk to each other?
No, just to get connectivity on them. They can just build them, keep them there, and there's no
Enable
network.
them.
Enable them. They need to enable the network to be working.
Okay.
We have some files that we just go open them and it gets connected.
All right, thank you. That I'm all clear now.
Then I also want to say something.
Oh, Uncle Oliver, come in.
Hi everybody. Hi everybody. I'm sorry.
Hi, big bro.
Yeah, I'm
Where
sorry.
are you? You back?
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry I'm late. I went to pick my daughter from school. I just want to say something also concerning the cloud and the internet. Anything that comes from the internet is not trusted. No matter from wherever it comes, it is not trusted. So it has to be secure. Before it got to your environment, it has to be secure from the firewalls and the encryption. It has to be secured. So this is something that we should understand. Public or not public, wherever from the internet that any data is coming must be secured. So in our own environment that we have an AI, I keep saying this and I said that last week, ONPASSIVE is going to have an AI cloud service. We are not going to have any normal cloud. The CEO told us that we are not going to have 2020 cloud service. We are going to have an AI cloud service. So we are more than 5 years ahead of the other cloud service, Amazon and the rest. That is why we are going to beat the market hands down. Thank you.
Yep.
That's exciting. Is that it for your questions, Jay-Woo? All right. Very good. Next, we have Rita Staff. Come on down, Rita. Rita?
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Rita.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Nice to meet all of you, and especially those who presented today. It was so beautiful. I'm so blessed, really, to be in this company, and all of you look beautiful. Thank you very much. Have a good evening, good morning, or whatever it is. I have a question, but it's not exactly about the stuff. It's something that's related to it. It's about domain, because I am looking right now to start looking for my domain. I have like my brothers that I put them in a business too. So if they launch, so we are required to have a domain, right?
Yes, but the company is going to suggest one for you, or you can choose. That's my understanding. Yes.
You don't have to go out and purchase one.
You don't have to go out and create
one. The company is going to give you a website and a domain name.
Yes.
It will be just like GoDaddy. You will go there, you'll request a domain, it will tell you if it's available. If it's not available, it will suggest to you something close to what you want, but you don't have to take it. So you go in, you make a suggestion. I would have 3 in mind. If it's your name, you usually get away with it. But if it's something that you would think other people might have, you probably don't have a chance of getting it. You can bid on a domain, but that could run into thousands of dollars. So you just go in and pick what you want. And if it's not available, it will tell you, because whether ONPASSIVE or GoDaddy or any other domain service, they all run off the same thing. There's only one domain in the planet with that exact name. So you just put in, Rita, what you would like to have. If it's available, it's yours. The only difference is you won't be charged for it. And you can also get emails from it and everything else. So the company will pay for it every year. That's part of being upbound.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. This is what I want to know. Thank you.
Thank you, Rita, for your question. Marty had his hand raised. It's perfect. He's spotlighted already. Go ahead, Marty.
I should have just kept talking. All right, I'm going to talk to the IT guys, so you guys stay calm. Don't be getting too crazy on me. You know I can't deal with that. Listen, with the VPN security, right, which means I can talk to anybody. You can go anywhere online and nobody knows my IP address. I understand how that works. but I can actually get you in the same line of communication. Let's say I wanted to talk to engineer Mike, you, Bob, and Colin, for example, but I didn't want anybody else involved in that conversation. There's a link that I can give you three guys, and we talk and nobody can interrupt or actually tap in. Is that available? Or is that something that might be available? I mean, I don't know.
Yes, all virtual.
Yeah.
That's what okay, great. Now,
we have all virtual, VPN.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, now the other thing is, with the cloud hosting, the main thing, it's very fast. And if ONPASSIVE owns its own database, from what I understand, what I've read about it is cloud hosting is actually runs through maybe many servers. Like it takes a little bit from wherever location you might be, and it works together to help you get where you want to get as quickly as you want to get and cheaper, because we don't have to host it. I don't have to download anything. The cloud does everything for us. It brings the world to my desktop without me having to have anything like physically, like downloaded a cPanel and all that, right? Am I right so far? So it does work with many servers, right? Yes. Okay, now the benefit of ONPASSIVE is the data center will be owned by ONPASSIVE.
Correct.
So that's security by itself, right? Am I right? Because they will owe the key to the kingdom. You can't come in unless they let you in.
Yes.
And with a VPN on top of that, that's another security, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So if you add these up and owning your own database, we have Fort Knox, correct? I mean, along with AI, we have Fort Knox, right? I mean, nobody's going to be able to get in. Okay.
Yes, Marty. Yes, Marty.
Yes, Marty.
But let me say this. You've just said a lot, and you've said a lot on that. One, we will not download, maybe minimal download, because we deal with web application. So there'll be limited download with ONPASSIVE. The CEO is a very smart guy. We don't need to download like an app that you go and download app. It takes a lot of space in your machine, your phone, your desktop. You go download. We don't download to take space. You have an app that you use, and that app, there's no download. And when it comes to the security part of it now, like I said, nothing is trusted. And I know that the CEO is a very smart guy. Our security is going to be good because now we have an AI security. Like I said the other time, all the data that is stored within us is encrypted, is safe. It's well encrypted with AES-256. Then the migration, the transmission of the data also is encrypted in transit. It's encrypted. And then I don't trust, as a security person, I don't trust the network that goes to your house. So we use now the VPN to secure. If I want to communicate with you on your net, that my data will come to your network in your house, I don't trust it. So now we use the VPN. So you see how in all angles we have our system is secured. Come again with an AI cloud security. We have the event protection. We have the real monitoring alert. We have automated detection action that it protects the robust data control, which therefore means that you trust nobody, even your own employee that are working with you, because they are also dangerous. So we do have that real-time monitoring alert that if an internal employee want to hack or do a mysterious something with AI that is there as that defense, it is going to detect. That detect alert is going to bounce.
So it makes sense, Oliver. It makes sense, Oliver. That, and I'm only saying this from my opinion. It makes sense then that Mr. Mufara wait until the data center is ready before he goes full force into the world, because if he doesn't, there is a chance that AWS has a way in if we don't. Okay. I'm not saying they will. I'm just saying it makes sense with all the stuff we got going on. And remember one thing, knowing Ash Mufara, what we don't know is much bigger than what we do know.
Yes.
Okay, that's
yes.
a fact. Yeah.
That's a fact. We should also understand that the power of AI with the automation, AI also learned through the algorithms to secure cyber attack and the preventive measures, like our own is it sonar, that we have to ask more questions for sonar to perfect sonar. That is how the AI also AI will also learn the algorithms to prevent cyber attacks. The more, you know, by the next 2, 3, 4 months, the algorithms of AI will perfect our cyber attacks. That they will be
100%. That's why I said to you earlier, Oliver, that Asmupara has a team of hackers that hacks himself.
Yeah.
He asks them, can you get in? And they'll set up something and they'll tell him, yes, I got in. How did you get in? Boom, 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 boom. So I think that's what pushed, and this is my opinion, that's what pushed the database quicker. You see, he said 2 months. Last time he talked, we're like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, right. Yes. That what you are saying, he must have hired penetration test analysts that they will hack they're pen tests. They will hack the system, they secure it. They hack the system, they secure it. They hack it. It will take about 6, 7 months to hack the system and secure it. So much so that in ONPASSIVE with our AI, in fact, we are, like I keep saying, that we are the bulldozers in the market. We are the monster. Because when you come with anything, you will not get us. Though it will be limited, it will be limited attack. Even data, even the hackers will not be able to even penetrate or data breach.
He even said one time that if it got to the point that somebody, because you know there's very sharp guys out there and some of them are evil, that if somebody was able to get into, let's say, a wallet, he said it's set up that it will only do a minimum or a mirror image. If, in other words, they have mirrors out there now. You tech guys know what I mean. In other words, if you set up a mirror, it's not really you. It's an image of you. So when they send a, what's it called? Malware or something, it actually bounces off and goes, the virus doesn't go to you. It actually will go back to them. If they're not careful. There's a mirror. I had one time, and it's really cool stuff. I'm sorry, I don't want to get into that kind of stuff, but I mean, obviously, Asmupara, like you said, he's way up past that kind of.
Oh yes.
Where people can.
He did mention something about our omail.ai. Even spams, those spams mail, we will not get them. That is the power of artificial intelligence. The automation of AI is going to respond on almost instantly any attack or any spams that wants to come in. So, like you go to Yahoo, Gmail, you see spams mail. You want to go to your spams mail. You see about 1,000. You will not get that with our omail.ai. You won't get it. So with that's why I keep saying that we are the monster. That we are the bulldozer in the market. That I don't see anybody that will not buy our products. Again, that you come is cost effective. It's cost effective. You know, our products are going to be cost effective. Our cloud service, our AI cloud service is going to be cost effective. So tell me why you will not come. It's a one shop that you come and buy everything.
One-stop shop.
Unlimited. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Great. We have Gladys Nyaboro. Come on over, Gladys.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much, all winners and the presenters. I'm so happy learning from you every single time that you come to present here. All the presenters, I cannot name you all, beginning from Engineer Mike to Oliver, not in any order, but just from who spoke earlier than the other one. Listening to these presentations, especially the evening presentations that give us more understanding of what is happening in the world of IT. I'm not an IT person, but the more I'm listening, the more I'm appreciating what Ash is doing, his vision, and how he's trying to bridge the gap, to reduce the gap between human beings, between people and technology. And when you talk of the cloud and the data center on how our information is going to be secured, now I can begin putting one and one together to find it's two. Ash cares for people is creating something that will not only serve the developed countries, but is also thinking of the developing countries, the remote areas, the areas which are very vulnerable. That's why he's building, these servers that is going to put together to make sure that our information is secure. So I'm very happy and thankful to be here today. Keep doing it, don't stop it, because it helps for us now. We have reached the time, we have waited enough, we have reached the time. That's how I feel that we should start really understanding what it is. If you are, somebody you are able to read, you can listen and you can hear, you have your brain working, there is no reason why we should not give time really to understand what ONPASSIVE is, how this technology is going to bridge things together, how the whole vision is meant to bring the world together close as one. So truly ONPASSIVE, we are a nation and we are unstoppable. Thank you very much.
Amen.
Thank you, Gladys. Appreciate it. We have Dave Angelic next.
Good evening, everyone. I'm truly enjoying today's conversation. Quick question, is ONPASSIVE more susceptible from a cyber attack from inside the company or outside the company? We've had a small, I guess a small break-in earlier this year. Just seeing what you fellas think.
Yeah, beautiful question, Dave. That's a good question. As a security analyst, I can tell you that ONPASSIVE is pretty secure. Looking at it based on, looking at it from the outside, everything that needs to be in place is in place. Even with the AI and, monitoring everything that, we need, we have. And Mr. Ash Mufareh is a very, 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 very smart guy. But you are right, an insider threat is a very, 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 very serious problem for any company to have. So, but I don't know, what the situation is from within. But what I know is that knowing who Ash Mufareh is, they have enough safeguards and countermeasures for that. So should that be the case? Yes, I know, little stress here and there. And I think, if you listen to how Mr. Ash spoke the other day, like in parables and stuff, because of, not comfortable with divulging information, there's some worries there. But I can tell you that, Dave, that there's enough safeguards and countermeasures, especially now that we are now inside the old founders. There are triggers all over the place. There's monitoring all over the place. And I believe that we are building our own custom. I'm not certain about this, but looking at Ash Mufareh from a distance and seeing how he's doing things, I think I'm right. I've talked with Oliver about this a lot. I think I'm right that we are also building our own internal security controls to create that iron dome inside and outside as well. So I don't think that's something that we need to worry about. Well, it should be a concern, yes, based on prior experience, but I think there is enough safeguards and countermeasures in place.
Let me add something. I am not a cyber expert by far, but let me tell you this. I believe this. if it did happen internally, they would find out who did it and they wouldn't make it very far. So even if it did get away, because there's been some things, they always find out who did it. Always. And as has got, listen, this is a fact. No one in India, in the company, knows everything.
No one.
That's a fact. That is a fact. And if somebody was able to do some little shenanigan, it will go back to them and they'll be caught. There'll be a spotlight on them right away. Trust me.
Let me also add my voice on this. There will be very limited. I'm looking at it from outside. Very limited. There will be company policies. There will be company policies, security policies internally. Again, they are going to have the distribution of function with limited privileges.
Yeah.
With limited privileges that is going to prevent anybody that if you are working on a particular department, when you are working on a particular department, you have access only within what you're supposed to work on and have access to those data.
Need to know.
Yes, they need to know. So that is one thing. And the policy is also there. Then with AI can predict future cyber attack from within and out. So it will not do is the percentage is very, very slim, small. I know our CEO, he has been talking a lot about security. He has been talking a lot about security and he's very cautious about it. And we cannot mess our business because security is the key. Before he even took that decision to migrate our data from AWS to our own and for we to have our own data center, he therefore he knows the weight of security. So I don't think they'll even mess with it.
Let me come in a little bit to the big bros. So in my own standpoint of view, when we come to talk about what we have, our environment and all that, remember, like everybody is saying, our company is an AI-based company. So which means that our own kind of service license agreement or service client agreement will be much more very different. But big bros are telling you people from a very security standpoint of view. So let's take it this way. Now, we have three groups of people. We have the database administrators, we have the developers, we have the programmers, then we have the system engineers. What Uncle Oliver is trying to tell you people is that we will have limited permissions to work on those files and directories. Let's say, for instance, we have the development environment. We have people who are working in the development environment. The developers are developing their codes. So let's say Uncle Oliver is a system admin there, then Uncle Bob is a security analyst. They employ me, I'm right there at that development stage. Now, the only permission they will give to me as a developer will be read and write. That's all. Read and write permissions, that's all. So that I can work on my file and I go away. I cannot go further. Now, Uncle Bob, who is the boss, who is the analyst, and Uncle Oliver, who is our supervisor. Uncle Bob, we have read, write, execute permissions because he is the person overseeing all what we are doing. Then Uncle Oliver, who is the biggest boss, will be the person that has the root privileges to enter into those systems and give us those permissions. So he can decide and go to one file and just say, okay, Uncle, me, like a newcomer to the system, they don't even trust me yet. Give me just read permissions. I cannot write, I cannot execute. But Uncle Bob can have read and write. Then he, who is the general supervisor, we have read, write, execute to do anything there. That is a security standpoint when we talk about permissions. When you hear them talk about permissions on files and directories, that is something like that. Thank you, big bros.
And remember also that, let me just chime in here. Remember a few months ago, maybe a year ago, Mr. Ash talked about Active Directory, right? So that's another way of security. That's how, you know, everybody comes into the system through an Active Directory structure with their permissions, just what Michael is saying. So we have our own, comparable to Active Directory is a Microsoft product, but ONPASSIVE has their own version of Active Directory, which is also going to commercialize at some point. Mr. Ash is not even talking about that, you know. So that way they can easily monitor activities, and then with AI on top, studying and machine learning, you know, algorithms and things like that, they will easily pick up, you know, mischiefs and stuff like that. Yeah.
And in addition to that, if there's any suspicious of any attack or any threat, the system with AI will shut it down, will shut down the system and shut down all the ports. For nothing can come in, nothing can go out anymore until they investigate and everything is cleared. So AI is very powerful, and when it comes to our security, I'm not that scared. I know that we are fine.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thorough response. Thanks, Dave. Next, we have William Delorme, who would like to ask his question.
Hello, very interesting today. I'd like to ask a question when relating to like Cisco routers. Now, they're very expensive for home use, and we know that home computer is very vulnerable. So it kind of, how do you wrap your head around that kind of thing to keep it's expensive to be online, put it that way. So being an ONPASSIVE, we're going to be more secure for home use compared to, like, routers are in the government, in offices, buildings, because they change their IP address every half an hour or things of that nature. Can you explain to us how this would be more better for us as a user?
Can I start?
Yes, Mike, I started.
Okay, let me start with you, Sir William. Let's talk about it. Remember, we have products. We, as founders, already, and the people who will be users as well, like customers, come to subscribe in our business, that we own this platform. Now, when you own this when you pay for your subscription, all the products are in your virtual office. They are all yours. Now, what security measures we have? AI number one. Break it down, going again, we have O virtual. Remember, we have O virtual, which will be our own virtual private network. It's our VPN. So it is called, it's O virtual. So you don't have nothing to be scared about. You don't have nothing, because we have number one, AI already is a layer of security to our systems or to our, wherever we are logging into, right? Because how do you do it? You will use your O virtual to be
connect,
like a shield and to connect to your network wherever you are. So, which means you have AI one, then you have now the VPN, how you call it, which is our O virtual, which we'll use it now to log in. It serves now as a layer of security to all our devices wherever we are.
Yeah. Then in addition to that, Sir William talked about switches and routers. Almost all the switches and routers today that they're manufacturing them today comes with an internal security also. So we should not be scared. If our CEO get a router or switches for us, they comes with internal security. I know I don't want to talk about companies or downgrade
In
companies.
fact, in fact, they are mostly wireless now.
Yeah.
They're mostly wireless. Yeah.
And when they are wireless, it goes through the internet. And what does that
Yeah.
mean? Must be secured. Anything from the internet, you should not be, you must not trust it.
Yeah.
Also, I would like to add,
William, let me add something for you so you understand. On my computer at home, I have a company called ESET. A lot of people don't know what that is, but I really looked into different companies, and that was the best one I could find. It protects my computer. Now, ONPASSIVE's obligation is to protect your business and your computer while you're in ONPASSIVE. So,
ONPASSIVE.
yeah, if you use the VPN while you're working, if they go after somebody, it's not you anyway, because it won't be your IP address, it'll be another one. But that doesn't protect you from getting online, going to a website that's not very secure, and you getting some kind of virus. That could happen. That is internal. That's you. You should have a good firewall or protection of your own, which I would recommend, like ESET. Some of them use too much space, so you want to be careful, but that one uses very little space on my computer, and I have never got a virus since I've had it in 5 years, ever. But your protection from the company is by the company. I just don't want you to confuse the two. It's not going to give you homeowners insurance either, okay? No, it's there to protect you while you are communicating with your business. And if you use the VPN, that'll protect you a lot. But there are times you're surfing around the internet on your own. ONPASSIVE has nothing to do with that. I'm not saying down the road, there is a technology coming that would help you with that too, but I'm just saying that's not what I want to make sure that's clear, and the guys can back me up on that. That's not that. That's not McAfee or something like that. That's something totally different.
Yes,
good job, Marty. Good job, Marty.
Yes.
You explain it very, very well.
Yeah.
Yes, William, here,
ONPASSIVE.
to add, maybe I have malware bytes protection for life now. Honestly, it's a very good program. But what I wanted to say was, like, you have VPN, you have IP tracker too. How much more would that give us help from protection? Actually, they're not going to like us because we can track the hackers now. Is that
perfect.
the way we can use that?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. We will have all the tools. I want a continuation to what Marty just said. ONPASSIVE will protect your data within. When it leaves ONPASSIVE now to your house, it is your problem.
Yes.
It's not ONPASSIVE problem. Or if it's in your company, it is your problem. So we should be very clear on this. That is why you have to protect. You have to protect your house network. It's like I'm working from home. I'm working from home. My company don't trust my home network. So that is why I have VPN.
Yeah.
Directly from my job, from our office, from our cloud service to my house. Virtual. That's why we are also going to make a lot of money from virtual. Because now a lot of companies, IT companies, people work from home. Shops now, people shop now online. People shop online. People use their credit card, their bank card to shop online. So it must be secured. So you as an individual, you must secure your home network.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. I think we're at the point of being here about 2 hours, which is actually perfect. I think we covered everyone's questions and comments. And at this time, we're going to start wrapping up. I want to give the floor to Ron Halbert, my co-host at this time. Go ahead, Ron.
All right. Well, Len, I have a question. Who can I ask this question to? Oliver. I live in Florida, okay? And I looked out the window the other day, and it was a perfect blue sky, okay?
Yes.
With no clouds. So what am I going to hook up to? See, I knew I'd get him. That's how smart I am, folks.
Fly like a bird, Ron. Fly like a bird.
Listen, I appreciate you guys tonight. It was very, very educating. And I think a lot of people learned something tonight that they hadn't ever thought about. Even Marty taught us something. I can't see him, so I don't know if he's giving me the thumb or something. But anyways, you guys were great. We appreciate it. And I'm sure you'll be back on here again. And again, I want to thank everybody for all their prayers and well wishes while I was out. It's appreciated. And I'm going to give it back to my co-host, Lynn Nakamoto, and let her close this thing out. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ron. Appreciate it. All right. I think we had a great evening. By a show of hands or waving, how many of you learned at least one thing tonight? Raise your hand. All right, I'm glad. That is what Friday Night Live is about. It's bringing value to you, the attendees of Friday night. We appreciate you very much. For without you, we would not have a webinar. We appreciate you very, very much. Yes?
Auntie Lynn, we have 2 hands for attendees. 2 attendees have their arm up. Manawa and Utam Holder or Helder.
Okay.
Yes, they want to
2
come.
minutes
They want to come to the. They want to come to the panelist side.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're raising their hands for. Okay.
Oh,
and yeah, thank you to my co-host Ron Halbert. Appreciate you a lot. Want to thank our speakers tonight, Mike Ojangtambia, Oliver Fonte, and Bob Kakusi. Thank you very much for your instruction and guidance and all of that. Appreciate you. I want to also thank the people who have supported this webinar. Marty, for always hosting this Zoom webinar. Appreciate you, Marty. Always there for us. Thank you to Chris Johnson, who's there for us all the time. Julie Wynn, maybe she's quiet tonight, but she's there. She's there to support us. And she helped us promote this webinar. We appreciate you, Julie. Thank you to Veronica Weang. She also invited her team to be here tonight. Thank you for your confidence in us, Veronica Weang. Thank you to Dan Street and Peter Rogers as well for being here. And we want to tell you that next Friday, the topic is going to be cybersecurity, presented by 2 people that we are very happy to have. It's going to be Dr. Benny Blessing and Bridget Nakamsi. Those 2 will be presenting cybersecurity. So be sure to attend. Tell everybody about it. The more people that come, the better. More people will learn. So we want to thank you all again for being here. We love you very much. Ron and I appreciate you. So at this time, you can unmute yourselves and say bye-bye to one another.
Bye-bye. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all.
I see Chris is finally awake.
Everybody, it was wonderful information.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Team. I love you all. Bye-bye.
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 Night from Potomac, Maryland.
Night from DMV.
Your host.
Bye from Washington.
Bye from Canada.
Bye-bye from Papua New Guinea.